Earth, a very unique planet where you live possibly, is unique because it is the place where you will find the hottest place as well as the wettest place. A place where you will find the deepest trench as well as the highest mountains. A place where there is deserts as well as the oceans. A place where you will find lakes, plateaus and many more. Don't you think that this is somewhere influenced by atmosphere and climate? Similarly, if we particularly talk about our great India, analyze the situation where you have in a single country the wettest place in Mawsynram, Cherrapunji, or the hottest place that is in Thar Desert, where you can find the great Himalayan mountains as well as the ocean surrounding the plateau from the three sides. Along with that, we have great rivers. But my dear students, all this is because of the dynamic atmosphere, climate, etc. Sometimes you get confused between that today. Today, it is a rainy day. Hence, you call it as a rainy climate. But don't you think that the word climate over there is wrong? There are misconceptions with the word atmosphere, climate, as well as weather. And in this video today, we are going to figure out all of them. Welcome on the platform, Diksha Vedantu, and this is your SST faculty, Tanvi Pauja. Class 9 students, I know that you guys are waiting a lot for the new SST book, but still not published. However, in your school, the curriculum has been started and you guys are worried about at least in this summer vacation you can use your time and clear all your basics. This chapter is going to do that. Atmosphere and climate, let me clear out one misconception in your mind that we are going to teach anything out of anywhere from different resource. No. Bacha, the same geography chapter was also present in last year. However, just the packaging of this chapter is changed in this new curriculum. However, when I talk about all the in-depth explanation of the topic, it is same. So don't think that it is something which will not be present in their new in your new SST book, which is going to release by CBSE. It will be same only. Okay, so don't worry about that. Let's start preparation before your book comes so that you can become a topper. You can be way ahead of the students who are still waiting of the books. Now, let's decode the topic of the chapter as we usually do, as we always do, that is the dynamic atmosphere and changing climate. Beta, basically weather as well as climate are two phenomena which are totally dependent upon atmosphere. So first of all, we have to understand what is atmosphere, right? What is atmosphere? So whatever you are like Earth being a unique planet. Why it is a unique planet? Because it is a planet which consists of water. Only planet where water is there, as well as only planet where atmosphere is there. Now, when I talk about atmosphere, whenever we are on, obviously we are on Earth, we feel some air around us, a shield of blanket around us. We know that we have oxygen to breathe, we have carbon dioxide around us, we have nitrogen that is giving life to plants, etc. But don't you think that there is a shield around us, something around us? We feel heavy sometimes, right? Whenever there is more moisture, we feel heaviness in the air. That is actually atmosphere. If I tell you the exact definition, it is the thin blanket of gases around the Earth. Like if I tell you in the last chapter, we have read about the interiors of the Earth. This is a pizza shape of Earth basically, and part of Earth's surface, where what we have seen in the last particular chapter was that in the center it was core. Then around the core it was mantle. The topmost layer was crust. Okay, we as humans are living on this layer that is known as crust. On this layer, okay, pay attention to that. On this layer there is a thick blanket of air which consists of gases, which consists of water vapors, which consists of dust, and that blanket is referred as atmosphere. Okay, that blanket is referred as what? Atmosphere. So again, atmosphere is a thick blanket of gases around the Earth. What does it provide? It provides us air to breathe and protect us from harmful solar radiation. Now, this harmful solar radiation is an important topic which we have to cover in depth in this chapter. I am going to tell you. Okay, it helps us regulate the earth temperature. Climate is the average. Okay, we'll go with climate and weather very nicely. First, let us understand about atmosphere. Basically, beta, atmosphere is what? Atmosphere is something that is around us where there are a lot of gases which supports our life. This is the main definition, right? Now the second point which we have referred here is it protects us from solar radiation. Beta, if atmosphere would not have been there, na, like in the daytime when we experience direct sun rays, the earth would be the hottest place to live. Hottest place. In the night time it would be the coldest. In the summer season it would be so hot that we could not live, the life could not sustain. And in the winter season it could be so cold that the life could not be sustained. Now coming to the point, why, right? Why? Pay attention to that. There are certain particular features like if I talk about, this is the earth's surface, okay? This is what? The earth's surface where we are living, and this is sun. And this is sun. So in physics you guys are learning about certain concepts of reflection as well as refraction. Similar process also sustains in our earth's surface or the climate, right? When these direct sun rays are, pay attention to it, when these direct sun rays are coming towards the earth's surface, it gets diverted and reflected back outside the atmosphere. Now imagine a situation when there might be no atmosphere around us. Okay, so what would be the condition? The condition would be that the total amount of sun rays that are coming, okay, hitting the surface of that plane surface of earth and reflecting back totally, that means 100%. So don't you think that in the earth the temperature would not be there? Only for a period of time when sun rays are coming and diverting, only there will be highest temperature, but it reflects back totally, and hence earth would become the coldest place to live, like it was million years back during the time ice age was there. And during that time there were no humans. Why? Because it did not supported life. Right? Now imagine a situation, there is a thick blanket of air around us, thick blanket of atmosphere around us, which consists of gases, right? Which consisted of gases, dust particles, as well as water vapors, Now what is happening, beta? When the sunlight comes to the earth's surface and when it gets reflected, now these dust particles, gases, do not allow some of the gas to get reflect back. Okay, and this is how it percolates in the atmosphere or in the earth's surface. What happens? Which helps to increase or maintain the certain amount of temperature in the earth's surface, which is actually required for the survival of humans or sustenance of humans. Getting my point? But now what is happening, beta? Now what is happening? Humans develop, we use the resources, we build AC, bikes, cars, etc. What is happening? We are releasing these gases, like naturally the gases was present around the atmosphere, around the earth. Now we are releasing a lot of carbon dioxide, methane, etc. By using these things, now what is happening? What is happening, beta? These amount of gases are increasing, and the amount of sunlight that was reflected back is decreasing day by day. It is getting trapped in this atmosphere, right? Because it is getting trapped in this atmosphere, the temperature is increasing. Which is leading to what? Global warming. What it is leading to? Global warming. Okay, however, my agenda was to just teach you that we have a shield of gases around us, which is known as beta atmosphere. Okay, this atmosphere particularly affects two things. One is climate and the other is weather, in which we get confused every day. I don't know why. One is climate and the other one is weather. So when I talk about climate beta, climate is the average weather conditions of a place over a long period of time. However, weather phenomena is like rainfall, wind, storms and seasons depends on the atmosphere. Now, as per the atmosphere, okay, as per the atmosphere, our daily routine is being changed. Like if I talk about a place, now what happens? I am living in Bangalore, for example. In Bangalore, particularly today, rainfall is happening. So what will I call it? I will call it a rainy day. But a person right now sitting in Delhi, is he or she facing that rainy day? No. The person is facing hot and humid weather. Hot and humid weather, because there is so much of hotness because of the sun's movement. So it is rainy day for me, hot day for the person in what? Delhi. This is known as weather. What do you mean by weather? The atmospheric phenomena for a smaller area for a shorter period of time. Okay, why I'm using shorter period of time? Because there are chances that tomorrow in Bangalore it can be a hot day. Okay, getting my point? Shorter area, shorter period of time is a weather phenomena of atmospheric conditions. However, all the additions of this weather phenomena, like if I talk about India, I can't tell India is a rainy country with rainfall. India is a hot country. I can just not tag it, because in India we have rainfall, wind also, we have hot days, we have humid days also. So what is climate? Climate is the average weather condition of a place over a longer period of time, and this place is large. This is referred as climate. So what we can say that weather is a smaller phenomena, net aggregate of weather is referred as climate. Do not get confused now, from now, whenever you use the words weather and climate, and I hope this one is pretty clear to you. So remember that atmosphere supports life system. Climate is referred as long-term weather pattern. Okay, for students, focus, connect every topic with daily life like rain, heat, crops, floods and pollution. This you have to do whenever you see anything around your surrounding. My dear students, is it clear to you? Great. Now, let's move to the second topic of this chapter. Second topic is about the structure of atmosphere. Now you are aware that there is a thick blanket around us, but how it is actually? So that atmosphere is divided into 5 layers based upon its temperature change with the height. Now we heard this a lot of times that whenever a person is climbing a mountain, they are carrying oxygen cylinders with them. Why? Because we know that the temperature over there with the increase in height decreases. As temperature decreases, the gases also present over there decreases. So as we move upward, the gases are not there, right? And hence, according to those presence of temperature, we divided the atmosphere into 5 layers. What? The 5 layers. And the 5 layers are such that, bacha, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. Okay, again let's see: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. May I tell you a gimmick to remember that? Yes, and the gimmick is the smart men took exam. Okay, the smart men took exam. Okay, remember me over here. So the smart men took your exam. The stands for troposphere, the first layer. Then stratosphere, mesosphere in the middle, thermosphere and exosphere. Exosphere for sure last. Exhaust, exist. Okay, exit. Now, bacha, pay attention to that. With the help of this diagram, we are going to understand it, because for class 9 students, structure of atmosphere, to draw the structure of atmosphere, a question can come in your exam. Okay, now the point is that pay attention to this. The point is that, beta, if I say about troposphere, okay, talking about troposphere, it is the lowest layer of atmosphere. It is the lowest. See, here is where the atmosphere starts. Okay, Now, this line particularly, this up till this area is what beta? The layer which is referred as troposphere. Okay. Whenever we go to the pole, it is around 8 kilometers in height. Whenever we go to like equator, the center of the earth, it can be around 18 kilometers till height. Okay, so 0 to 18 kilometer approx is the presence of this troposphere. Now, what is present in this troposphere? Beta, all the weather conditions, by this I mean, like for example, temperature is increasing, evaporation is happening, clouds are being formed. Where? In which layer? It is present in troposphere. We can see the clouds or not? Yes. Then rainfall, obviously, all those weather conditions like dust storms, etc., whatever is happening around us are because of this troposphere, because they are present in troposphere actually. Getting my point? Now it contains 75% of atmospheric masses, all the gases like carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, argon, whatever they are, 75% of them is present in this troposphere. Our life is based upon this troposphere, 75%. We sustain because of this troposphere, right? In troposphere, when you move ahead, like when you move above, every time you move 165 centimeter, 1 degree of temperature decreases. That's very obvious. When you move upward, the temperature decreases. So how much it is? 165 centimeter. That means 1 degree. And this is referred as troposphere. Get it? Now moving towards the second one. Acha, pay attention. One random question to all the students out here. As it contains lot of clouds, it contains weather conditions. Do you think there might be aeroplanes flying over there? Not possible. For aeroplanes, it is the next layer, that is stratosphere. So this stratosphere is above this troposphere up till 50 kilometer. Up till how much, bacha? Up till 50 kilometers, right? All those basically airplanes, jets, etc. All those things are flying in this region. Why? Because it lacks weather conditions and it lacks destruction and it facilitates the flow of them. Okay, the next one is it contains the ozone layer that absorbs harmful UV rays. So we know that from sunlight, UV radiations are coming directly hitting the earth, but this ozone layer absorbs these UV rays, because if ozone might not be there now, then the UV radiations come directly to the earth, which actually affects the human life. Okay, we would not sustain on earth because of just direct coming of infiltration of UV rays. So, because of the presence of this O3, ozone layer, in stratosphere, our life is sustained. So, that is the reason I call that 70% of our life depend upon troposphere, the rest depends upon stratosphere. The next is beta mesosphere. See, now this is mesosphere up till 80 kilometers above stratosphere. Meteoroids burn here like shooting stars. Now we know that around the earth, beta, there is lot of stones or rocks, not stones, rocks revolving. In that revolution, sometimes the earth and the gravitation, they enter into the gravitation of the earth. Okay, now that gravitation of the earth, what it basically attracts them, they enter into the gravitational zone of the earth, come into the atmosphere. What would happen if that meteors hit the earth's surface? It would affect the life. Exactly. What would happen if someday a rock comes and hit us? Similarly, a meteor can come, but this layer has a very important role. That is mesosphere. What happens when meteor enters the atmosphere, particularly in mesosphere, because of the presence of gases, what happen? Friction will happen. And because of that friction, this meteoroids will burn away. But it may happen sometimes that they are not burned completely. Pay attention. They are not burned completely and they hit the earth's surface. But however, because majority of them burned there, now the size reduces. They are referred as meteors. When they hit the earth's surface, they are referred as meteors. When they are in the atmosphere, they are referred as meteoroids. Okay, sometimes there are lakes formed out of this attack of meteors too. Pay attention. However, majority of the meteors burn in this layer of atmosphere, that is mesosphere, which lies up to 80 km from the earth's surface. Okay, next is about beta thermosphere. Now thermosphere, the word thermo itself talk about temperature. When we go here, this is the layer in which when we go up, the temperature increases. See, pay attention. In other layers, what is happening? The temperature is decreasing. Here it increases. It extends roughly up to 450 km. And because ions are present here, also known as ionosphere, it supports radio transmission and satellite communication. So whatever frequency we are using for these communication comes from where? This layer of atmosphere, that is thermosphere and ionosphere. Okay, and the last one that helps us to exit the atmosphere and beyond it, life actually does not support. So that is exosphere, outermost layer, which merges with the space, and the space which is vacuum. Okay, however, some sort of satellite communication also facilitates here, but not more than thermosphere. So how many layers of earth, how many layers of atmosphere are there? 5. How to remember them? The smart men took the exam. Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, then comes thermosphere, and the last one, that is exosphere. And here we learned a question that can come in your exam for 5 marks. Okay, do not forget to make this diagram in your copy right now, because yes, you're not in class 6, but this question can come, and sometimes you feel so pretty confident that I can make this diagram, that's so easy, but it happens that we forget it. So this is the important topic of this chapter. Now beta, coming towards the next topic, that is composition of the atmosphere. What actually is present in this atmosphere? We are saying from the starting that by it consists of gases. By which gases? Tell us that. So yeah, the atmosphere is a balanced mixture of gases, water vapors and dust particles. The gases such as nitrogen, and how much percent? 78%. Since childhood we are struggling to remember this 78%, isn't it? But you know what happened now, when I was small, I used to forget a lot about the composition of nitrogen, that is 78%, and the presence of water, that is 71%. I don't know why I mixed up this 78 and 71, and I'm thinking that by telling you that I will make more confusion in your mind too. No worries. So the nitrogen, I remembered it likewise, like this is N. Okay, we can just add a line and make it as 8. Hence, it was 78%. So this is how I remembered. I don't know if you're going to enjoy that, or you are feeling right now, ma'am, what is this nonsense? So beta, nitrogen, that is 78%. This is the largest component. It reduces oxygen intensity and support plant growth through nitrogen cycle. So in biology, you might have studied about the nitrogen cycle fixation, which is quite important for the growth of plants, and hence nitrogen is important. Okay, the second most available gas is oxygen, 21%. I don't think that I need to give a reason or explanation about this gas. So it is essential for respiration and combustion. Without oxygen, life is not possible. So some a million years ago, when there was a person who was hitting a stone and somewhere fire discovered, would not be possible if oxygen might not be there. Okay, and you might be thinking, ma'am, I just hope that would not have happened, because of that fire what development has, we are facing right now, is because of that. This was the first discovery that changed human life. Okay, no issues. Moving to next one, that is argon, 0.93%. However, it is chemically inactive, but it is used in electric bulbs and welding. Okay, the next is carbon dioxide, 0.04% used in photosynthesis. You know that. Acha, write down right now that particular chemical equation of photosynthesis in comment section. Helps regulate earth temperature through greenhouse effect. Now, what is this? This point is important, beta. If you remember, I in the starting of the chapter explained you that earth's surface is there, sunlight is coming there, and because of the presence of gases, some of the sunlight is trapped here, which basically maintains the temperature, and the gas which has a role in it, that is carbon dioxide. But because of emissions from factories and motor vehicles or air conditioners, refrigerators, etc., if we are going to increase the composition of CO2 in the atmosphere, it will lead to global warming, and it is actually happening. Getting my point? So it helps to create the greenhouse effect. That trapping of sunlight, maintaining the temperature, is known as greenhouse effect. Getting my point? So greenhouse effect is not a negative term, but when this greenhouse effect causes global warming, that is a negative term. Clear? Picture is clear or not, or still having a confusion? If you do now, then you have to watch the video from the starting again. I don't want any confusion in your mind right now because of these terms, the easy terms. Okay, now there are certain other gases, a small amount of gases like ozone, carbon dioxide, and very important for life, very important for our life and climate. Moving further, we have water vapors around us. So it varies from place to place. Like if you go to a place which is near to ocean or river, you will find humid climate there. Or I should use weather, the word as. So you will find that weather, the weather over there is humid. Why? Because of evaporation, that water converts into vapors, okay, and that vapors add what? Heaviness into the air, that is referred as humidity. Okay, we will study about that in detail, but yes, water vapor is present in atmosphere, dust particles are there like smoke, pollen, salt, soil particles, etc. We have ozone, that is found mainly in stratosphere, that helps us to absorb UV rays, okay, ultraviolet radiations coming directly from the sun. So each component that is present in the atmosphere, beta, it supports life, it controls climate or maintain the environmental balance, and that is the reason, because of the presence of atmosphere, Earth is the only planet that supports what? Life. Okay, and you might be thinking, why bhai, so much burden in this life? 9th class syllabus is changed, see how stressed we are. Beta, let's be thankful, at least we have a very good life. Okay, you're holding your phone in your hand. Think about the students who are living in slum areas, etc. No more gyan than this. I know that you will feel irritated. Now coming to the topic, that is weather versus climate. This is the most demanded, most confused, and topic where you write blunders. I don't know why. But it's very easy. So what is weather? That is day-to-day climatic conditions of atmosphere at a particular place. Like I gave you example of Bangalore. Today it's raining over here. So what is the weather? Rainy weather, rainy day. But the person sitting in Delhi right now is boiling. So what is the weather over there? Hot weather. Okay, same country, two different places, two different atmospheric conditions, and this is known as weather. What is weather? Atmospheric condition, smaller place in a smaller period of time. Okay, however, the net aggregate, like in India, I can't call it India has a rainy climate. Why? Rain doesn't happen here. Happens, but not all the days. India has a hot and humid climate, and not all the days. So instead we use average atmospheric condition, and that term for that average atmospheric condition is referred as climate. So what is climate, beta? Average weather condition of a place over a large period of time. Getting my point? Like India is a country which have monsoonal type of climate. This will be a more perfect term. Or if you want to talk about Rajasthan, it has a hot and dry climate. Why? Because in the temperature over there, has less what we can say differences. ठीक है? So weather changes quickly, climate changes slowly. Weather is a short term, climate is a long term. Both are controlled by elements like temperature, pressure, wind, humidity and rainfall. This is important because the weather and the climate of a place is defined how much temperature is there, what is the pressure over there, how winds are flowing over there, how humid is the atmosphere, and rainfall too. It is affected by all these features. How? I will tell you. Meanwhile, I am giving you a work that is question. You have to do it. And the question is, write 5 differences between. Okay, write 5 differences between beta weather and climate. Get it? 5 differences between weather and climate. Learn it right now and thank me later when you can see this question in your term 1 or before the term 1 your class test. Okay, let's check how much you learned up till now. If you can't see what is written on the board, I am reading it for you. Which layer of atmosphere contains the ozone layer that protect Earth from harmful UV radiations? Answer in the comment section. So, we just learned that which layer of Earth contains the ozone layer. Second question of the day. The layer of the atmosphere where weather phenomena occurs. So, you might be aware about that. Mesosphere, troposphere, stratosphere or exosphere. Comment session. Answer in the comment section. Question number 3. Which of the following gases is more abundant in Earth's atmosphere? Arey bhai, very easy. Oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide or argon. Answer in the comment section. Now, we completed basically one main important topic of the chapter. Moving ahead, the next one is elements of weather and climate. So, weather and climate is influenced particularly by these particular what beta elements. The first over here is temperature. You can see the first one is temperature. Obviously, whenever the temperature is high, our weather will be hot. Whenever the temperature is low, we call it cold. So, what actually temperature is beta? Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness in the air. Right? Pay attention what it is. It is the degree of hotness and coldness of air. Like for an example, I'll tell you that, okay, pay attention to this. This is our Earth. Okay, this is Earth. At the center of the Earth passes at 0 degree what equator. You are in class 9th and I am assuming that actually you know this division of Earth. I am hoping that. If not, I'll make a separate video for this telling you all these basic things. Okay. So here at 0 degree beta, what do we have? We have equator. Why equator? Because for the convenience of study, we divided the complete Earth into 2 parts from the center and it becomes 0 degree. Like in maths, what do we say? A complete circle is how much degree? 360 degrees. So somewhere the center of the circle might be there. That center is 0 degree, that's equator. Okay, as we move ahead, see, this is not a 3D picture, but you have to assume that. So as we move ahead upward, it is like 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, and as you move up to this particular thing, this is referred as North Pole. Okay, this is referred as North Pole, that is 90 degree. Why 90 degree? See, 90 degree here, 90 degree here, 90 degree here, 90 degree here. So 94s are 360, and this is how the Earth's surface is there. I'm not going more into detail about this. This you studied in class 6, my dear students. Now let's see that what I was telling was the impact of temperature. Okay, I was telling you that. So in between there is equator, then we have Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere. What this is, beta? This is what? Tropic of Cancer. Finally, okay, then we have Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, in the north we have Arctic Circle. We have Arctic Circle, and then in the south we have Antarctic Circle. Antarctica Circle, and here this is South Pole at 90 degree. Okay, South Pole at 90 degree. So now coming to detail, beta, equator, right? And this is sun, and this is sun. Now Earth is revolving around the sun. Pay attention that Earth is revolving around the sun. The direct sunlight of the Earth lies to, like all the time the sunlight moves to or passes to equator. Okay, however, at the distance of this equator, like if I talk particularly about Tropic of Cancer, this impact of sunlight reduces. It reduces more to Arctic Circle, and at the North Pole and South Pole, what happens? The sunlight does not reach as it is reaching on equator. It reduces because of this slantness. See, this is slanting, na? Because of the curve of the Earth. So what happened? For 6 months there is sunlight in North Pole, and 6 months there is no sunlight. That means night, totally night. Yes, exactly, it happens. So beta, because of this curvy, what we can say, because of this curve structure of Earth. Now one more thing, this Earth, what you are seeing right now, is not exact direction. It is not at the exact direction. Rather, it is tilted 66.5 degree. It is tilted 66.5 degree. So we are aware about this. It is tilted like this. Let me tell you. Tilted at 66, and arey bhai, what happens? Okay, so it is tilted 66.5 degree. Now what I want to tell you that beta, this sun moves from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. Actually, sun is not moving. Sun is not moving. We are revolving around the sun. Because of this revolving nature of the Earth, what happens, and because of the tilt of the Earth, the direct sun rays reaches from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. But as Earth is tilted, right, as Earth is tilted, there are times when this direct sunlight reaches to Tropic of Cancer only, and there are times when it reaches only to Tropic of Capricorn. Like it's now the tilt is towards the sun in northward direction, the sun rays will reach to Tropic of Cancer. It rotates, and now it is directly on the Tropic of Capricorn. So basically the temperature, right, the temperature is affected because of this sunlight. The temperature is affected because of this sunlight, and this temperature impacts the climatic conditions or the weather conditions. Okay, right? If I particularly tell you that in this map, India lies here. From between the India passes Tropic of Cancer. Between the India passes what? Tropic of Cancer. For an example, this is it. I'm just drawing a rough diagram. Okay, rough diagram of India. Like this is the position from where in India Tropic of Cancer is passing. So what happens beta? Whenever the sun is on Tropic of Cancer, direct sunlight is provided to us. We have summer season. When the sun is on Tropic of Capricorn, we have beta what? Winter season. So it impact what? Seasons, which is basically weather and climate. So yes, the degree of hotness, okay, the degree of hotness or coldness is known as temperature, which is actually measured by thermometer. If I want to tell you that, beta, during the time when there is high temperature, okay, whenever there is the time of high temperature, the air expands. But whenever there is low temperature, the contraction happens. Like we can figure this out very nicely with the help of thermometer. In thermometer, what do we use? We use mercury as an element, right? Mercury thermometers are there to check the temperature of a body and even to the atmosphere also. So what happened beta? Whenever the temperature is increasing, okay, that the temperature is increasing, that mercury is expanding. Temperature is decreasing, it is contracting. Similarly, the air expands when temperature is higher and it contracts when the temperature is low. Clear with this concept? But these are so basic things that you need to keep in your mind. I don't know how you are going to do that, but you have to do that. Okay, the next is about pressure. Pressure, which is directly influenced by temperature. Now, what is pressure? Right? See, we as humans are living on the earth. Okay, above us is the air. That air consists of gases, consists of water vapors, dust particles. Okay, now earth has gravitation force which is pulling that atmosphere towards it. When that atmosphere is pulling towards the earth, what happens? It exerts a force on it, a pressure on earth, and that is known as pressure, atmospheric pressure. Okay, so the force exerted by the weight of the air is referred as pressure, which is measured by a device barometer, beta barometer. So don't you think that this pressure will influence or affect the climate and weather? Actually it will. Okay, next one here is about wind. Now what is wind, bhai? Wind is the moving air. The air around us moves from one place to another. Don't you feel that? You feel that, bhai? Have you seen that loo during the time of summer seasons? So air in motion is known as wind, and yes, it has a definite direction too. Right, and that direction is beta. Wind always moves from high pressure to low pressure. Wind always moves from high pressure to low pressure. Now in your mind the question is, ma'am, how come this high pressure and low pressure? I'll tell you, beta. See, during the time there is high temperature. Okay, during the time there is high temperature, what happens? Pay attention. During the time when there is high temperature, the wind expands. Okay, air expands. Now this is the earth's surface. For an example, at this place particularly there is high temperature. What will happen? The wind expands and raises above, and it raise above. Now best example for that is the bucket we use to take shower during the time it is like cold out there. Okay, sometimes it might happen with you. Sometimes you fill the bucket with cold water first and then hot water. What you are assuming is that this water is being mixed. But does it happen? No. Sometimes it will happen that the above layer is hot, and when you go beyond the layers, it is cold water. Why? Because that hot water expands and rises up. Similarly, the hot air, what happens? Expands and rises up. Now, as it expands and rises up, what happens? Here, the pressure of the air is decreased. Point, because now it is moving in northward direction, so the pressure on the humans or on the earth's surface is decreased. So whenever, pay attention, whenever it is vice versa. Okay, whenever there is high temperature, there will be low pressure. High temperature equals to bacha what? Low pressure. Okay, this point is clear to you. Be clear with this. Okay, the next is low temperature, vice versa it is. So the pressure will be high. Okay, the pressure will be high. Very good. High temperature, low pressure, low temperature, high pressure. How wind is moving? From high pressure always to low pressure. Why? Because, pay attention, from high pressure to low pressure. Okay, get this point? Very good. The next important aspect is humidity. What is humidity? The amount of water vapor in the air. Amount of water vapor in the air. By what happens? What happens? Temperature increases, evaporation increases, water vapor goes to mixes with the air. The amount of water vapor in the air is known as humidity. Like we always say that in the coastal towns which is near to oceans, the weather is humid. Why? Water is there, it gets evaporated, mixed with the air. Humidity will be more. For example, in Goa. How it is measured? It is measured by a device known as hygrometer. It is known as what? Hygrometer. Do not get confused between barometer and hygrometer. H for humidity, H for hygrometer. Okay, and pressure is measured by barometer. One more thing I just want to tell you that, beta, have you heard about wind vane? Wind vane is a device that used to tell us the direction of wind. Okay, and anemometer is a device that used to tell us the what we can say intensity of wind, how intense the wind is, intensity of wind. So these are two devices. Note down in your notes, particularly I missed writing it over here. So wind tells you as the direction of the wind, and anemometer tells us the intensity of the wind. Getting my point? Very good. Now next is about precipitation. What is precipitation? By water coming down, that means rainfall. So water falling from clouds. Bacha, what happens now when that air loses the capacity to hold the water vapors? By air is also, it will have a capacity, particularly a percentage to hold that water vapors. So there comes a dew point when that capacity is over. What happens? Precipitation happens. Like water comes in the form of rain, snow, hail or drizzles. Okay, and then we have clouds form when water vapor condense into tiny droplets around dust particles. These are known as clouds, and these are the elements that affect weather and climate. Clear or not? So from where we started the chapter was the definition of atmosphere. Then we studied nicely what the difference between weather as well as climate, then the structure of atmosphere, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere, and now the elements of weather and climate. What are you thinking? The chapter is over? No, it's just started. Yes, this is a long chapter with multiple basic details about the chapter which we have to study today. Okay, next is about temperature and atmosphere in detail, which I have given you a brief introduction right now. Like temperature measured in degrees Celsius, high temperature expands air, low temperature contracts air. I just told you this. Okay, then we have atmospheric pressure, which is higher near the sea level. Why? I just told you. Lower at when you go up, the pressure will decrease. Lower at high altitudes. Low pressure brings clouds, rain and strong winds. High pressure usually brings clear sky, because high pressure there will be low temperature. Low temperature, that means low evaporation, and low evaporation, that means what? Low water vapors, clear sky, no clouds might be there. So this is about what? Temperature, and this is about atmospheric pressure. Now coming towards the next important topics which we discussed recently, and one among them is wind. What is wind? Moving air is known as wind, and wind always moves from high pressure to low pressure. We studied why, the reason is told to you. Now, do remember the two things which I told you. One was wind vanes and the other one was anemometer. Anemometer. Right now in the comment section, tell me the difference between the two. Now, next one is about humidity. Humidity, you heard it, beta. See, then we have precipitation. All these are the elements of weather and climate. Explain to you nicely. Quick question time, a quiz time, and answers will be given in the comment section right now. Question number 1. The instrument used to measure atmospheric pressure is known as atmospheric pressure. Do remember. Thermometer, barometer, hygrometer, anemometer. Second question. Humidity refers to amount of wind in the atmosphere. Okay, amount of water vapors in the air. Atmospheric pressure at a place, intensity of sunlight. Correct answer in the comment section. Question number 3. When the temperature difference between land and sea increases, it mainly affects what? What? Tell me in the comment section. Options are precipitation pattern, wind circulation and wind monsoon formation, Earth's rotation or solar radiation. So these are the important topics. Next is about the factors affecting climate. What are the factors that affect the climate, right? Climate, that means I'm using the average term, overall term for a longer area, for a larger area, for a longer period of time. How can it be longer area? What is this English, man? So, factors affecting climate. Beta, see. India particularly, we'll take a small example of India. However, India is not small, but we will take this example of India where we have to see that beta. We have mountains somewhere, okay? Somewhere there are sea, somewhere there is plateau. Somewhere the area is connected to the sea, somewhere it is landlocked. Okay, somewhere intensity of the wind is such that it is filled with moisture, somewhere it is not, like Thar Desert. So, does climate is affected by these factors? Yes, beta. Climate is actually affected by landforms. How? First example is about latitude, about latitudes. Now what are those latitudes? Basically beta, it controls the angle of sunlight and temperature. Like I told you, this is Earth, this is 0 degree equator, these are what? These are the lines, horizontal lines dividing the Earth's surface, and these are referred as latitudes. Okay, these are referred as latitudes. The latitudes which are closer to equator obviously will have high temperature, right? As you move upward or northward towards the equator, the temperature will fall. Why? Because of that slanting sun rays passing on them. Okay, it will happen. Like for an example, if I talk about this latitude, Tropic of Cancer, and the latitude Arctic Circle, will they have same time of weather? No. Do India and London have same time of weather? No. Do India and Norway have same time of weather? No. Why? Because they are quite close to Arctic Circle and we are close to equator. We have equatorial climate and they don't have that. Okay, so yes, latitude, because of the angle of sunlight, impacts the temperature, and temperature affects the climate and weather. Second is about altitude, right? Altitude. Now what happens when someone is going on a trek, or someone decided that they will climb the mountain, that is Himalayan ranges. By Himalayan, around 8,000 meter height. I am saying around, not the exact number, 8828 I guess it is. So when we talk about Himalayan mountain ranges, if someone is climbing, for sure it is advisable to carry oxygen cylinders. Why? Because as we go above troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, what happens? Temperature decreases. Temperature decreases, the density of the air decreases. This is what happens. It affects or not? Yes. So the climate and weather conditions on the hilltop will be different and on the earth's surface will be different. The second is this. The third is beta, distance from the sea. By coastal regions have moderate climate. By why? See, if we talk about the landlocked place, around them all there is land. When sunlight comes and falls on the land surface, it cools down slowly in comparison to the sea. Okay, it cools down what? Slowly in comparison to the sea. Hence, the areas that are around the sea, what? They have moderate climate in comparison to land. It happens or not in the sunlight, in the hot days, summer season. What happened? That sunlight is particularly in the daytime, but even in the evening also we feel that the land is so hot and the hot winds or air are coming through it. Why? Because it cools down slowly. It cools down what? Slowly in comparison to water. So coastal region has an impact. Then we have pressure and winds. I think that pressure and winds is being explained to you very nicely. High temperature, low pressure. Okay, and winds always move from high pressure to low pressure. Get it or not? Next is about relief. Yes, mountains and ocean currents. Warm and cold ocean currents influence coastal temperature and rainfall. Beta, for coastal currents now ocean currents, we have to understand very nicely. See, for an example, this is earth and this is equator. Now what is current? Moving water is referred as current. Okay, moving water in ocean is referred as current. For obvious, okay, pay attention, we have two type of currents. We have hot currents, we have cold currents. So the water that is moving around the poles might be cold for sure, and the water that is moving around the equator might be hot. However, the direction and everything is like influenced by a lot of factors. I don't think that you need to study that in detail right now. But yes, this particularly, for example, this is a shore of a place which is hit by hot water current. Will it influence the temperature and climate of that place? Yes, because that is hot water. It will facilitate more evaporation. More evaporation means more precipitation or more humidity. Okay, I hope that you are getting all of these terms and all of these things nicely, because I am possibly explaining you in the best possible way, my dear students. Okay. These are just minute basic things that you need to understand. Okay, if you want, I can make short videos on these topics too, where we can understand from depth what you missed in class 6, 7th, 8th. So we can do that too, because I know that if everything is going skyrocket now, then the problem is about basics. The problem is about the time when you were enjoying in class 6, 7th, 8th. So I hope it is clear. Factors affecting climate are what, beta? Latitude, altitude, distance from sea, pressure winds, relief, and ocean currents. Okay, and now come towards my interesting, my favorite topic, that is about seasons of India. How great it is we live in a country where we see all the 4 seasons. Now you might be thinking, ma'am, summer season, winter season, and rainy season. So beta, in that rainy season also, we will talk about 2 times when India get rains. At one, like some places in India, at the winter time rainfall is there, like Punjab and Haryana region, Delhi region. In winter also they get rainfall. Okay, so there is difference between the two. We will learn right now. Coming towards the season of India, but India experiences a rhythmic cycle of season. That rhythm is going continuously similar manner since years. However, the pattern is shifted nowadays. We can see that the pattern is shifted, like anytime rain is happening, or the amount of rainfall we expected, less rainfall is happening. The summer season is going beyond, like stretching beyond the months. Yes, and the winter is also extreme in North India. However, this rhythm is being continued. Like we have hot weather season. Now, when I talk about hot weather season, beta, the hot weather season is when? Pay attention. Let me tell you with the help of a diagram. And the diagram we have to make India. Okay. Again, I am sorry, very much sorry if I make mistakes in the border. It is just a rough diagram. I am trying to make you clear about the conditions of India, particularly which conditions, bacha? Okay, this Northeast India is not going to leave me the way I am making it now. So here it is. I tried to make it as good as possible, but there are chances you people don't like it. Here it is, India. Oh, great, yeah. Now, beta, hot winter season. Okay, between this India passes a latitude, and that latitude is, bacha, Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer. Fine, bhai. Now, below this India, this is 33.5 degree north, 33.5 degree north. So somewhere here lies like 0 degree, that is equator. Below Andaman and Nicobar, pay attention, that is equator. Okay, now, okay, now pay attention, this is Earth and the Earth is tilted. This is North Pole, that is Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, equator. Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic Circle, South Pole. Okay, so now the direction of the Earth is that it is tilted in the northern hemisphere towards the sun. This is sun. Ay bhai, where did the sun went? This is the sun. Okay, now the sun rays are like that. Okay, can you find that these sun rays are directly towards Tropic of Cancer? When sun rays will be directly towards Tropic of Cancer, from India passes Tropic of Cancer, what will happen? Basically, there will be summer season in India, for obvious. Why in South India the heat is more, beta? Because see, the sun moves from equator to Tropic of Capricorn, and then from Tropic of Capricorn to equator. So during this time particularly, the South India is a place which is being affected by the sunlight majority of times. Getting my point? So this is in detail about what summer season, when what happened when the this southern hemisphere is towards the sun. Now what is northern hemisphere is towards the sun? When southern hemisphere is towards the sun rays are moving towards Tropic of Capricorn, which creates the distance from India. What will happen? Cold season will happen. ठीक है? Is it clear to you, beta? Okay, so I hope this one is clear to you. So we have 4 seasons: hot weather season, cold weather season, particularly between the period of November to February. The coldest month are January, February, right? Winds are also affecting this time. I will tell you about wind with the help of map, right? Not like this. Then we have advancing monsoon, majorly where rainfall is there from the month of June to September. I am eagerly waiting for the monsoon. However, I'm saying this from Bangalore, and why should I wait for monsoon? Because every evening here is a monsoon. But it basically comes during the time of June to September, and it is influenced by southwest monsoon. Arey bhai, now what is this southwest, northeast, abundant rainfall? Hold on, everything will be explained to you. Okay, this is quite a difficult topic, particularly I feel for your level of understanding for class 9th, but you can trust your ma'am, because I am going to make you this topic easiest. And then we have one more, that is retreating monsoon. First we will learn in detail about these particular seasons, and then we will move towards the directions and the movements of the wind. Clear, beta? Now the topic is hot weather season. What happened? It lies between March to May. Result because of the rising temperature, and the rising temperature leads to the falling air pressure. That means low air pressure. Now pay attention, low air pressure, and wind moves from high pressure to low pressure. High pressure to low pressure. Now these winds are coming from the land of the India towards the sea. They are moving from land to sea. Will it hold moisture? No. As there is no moisture, no rainfall is there, hence winds are dry and we feel summer season. Okay, still not clear? Hold on. So temperature rises in most parts of India. Northern and northwestern India experience strong hot dry winds known as Lu. Pre-monsoonal showers in Kerala and Karnataka helps mango crop, and that is known as mango showers. Okay, so basically what happened na, the South India particularly faces monsoon the first in India. How come? That is because of the impact of winds. So that particular time which helps in the ripening of mangoes, this is known as mango showers. Okay, there are dust storms, thunderstorms and local showers in many regions. What you have to remember is the definition of Lu. This is hot, dusty and dry winds. Why it is dry winds? Because wind are coming from land to sea. The next is cold weather season, beta. The coldest months are December in Germany. How can it be Germany? January. Blunders I am making. Next is about northeast trade winds blow from land to sea. So many parts remain dry. Okay, Tamil Nadu coast receive rain from these winds as they blow from sea to land here. Okay, western disturbance bring. Now pay attention what happened during this cold season. That means beta low temperature. Cold season means low temperature. However, the pressure is high. But what happened in the Mediterranean Sea? In the Mediterranean Sea, in comparison to India, pay attention, in comparison to India, the high pressure belt develops here. So from Mediterranean to India passes this strong winds which are known as western disturbance. Western disturbance. Do you think that, have you analyzed that during the winter season, why only Punjab region, Delhi region, that northern region, okay, faces rainfall? Beta, this is because of this western disturbance. That means the winds coming from where? Mediterranean Sea. The speed of that winds is quite high, and this winter rain is known as Mahavat. Locally it is known as Mahavat. Okay, Mavat basically. To cut short it, Mavat. Okay, so western disturbance, low pressure from Mediterranean. We have high pressure, but it is low in comparison to Mediterranean Sea. Okay, beta. So map link, North India gets cold, peninsular region has no sharp winter season due to sea influence. This is about what season? Cold season. Then we have advancing monsoon, and then we have retreating monsoon also. But beta, this advancing monsoon and retreating monsoon can only be clear to you when I tell you the movement of the winds. Okay, when I tell you what beta, the movement of the winds. For that movement of the winds, we need to understand exactly what is going in the earth. Hold on, we are going to learn that. To understand it better, we will make what? We will make earth and understand the flow of wind as per the latitudes. Okay, I am making a rough diagram to make you that clear. So this is earth. Fine. This is earth, which is bulky at the center, however not at pole. The circle was not perfect. We will make it again. So this is earth. Between this earth, here is an 0 degree latitude, which we call as equator. Again, it's going repetitive, but it will be easier for you to understand. This is 23.5. Sorry, I just remember somewhere I wrote 33.5. No, it is 23.5 degree north, which is referred as Tropic of Cancer, bacha. Tropic of Cancer. Here in the south, it is 23.5 degrees south, which is referred as Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, Tropic of Capricorn. Then we have Arctic Circle at 66.5 degree north, and then 90 degree north, that is North Pole. Antarctic Circle in the south, that is 66.5 degrees south, Antarctic Circle. Okay. And then South Pole at 90 degree. So what we have to understand, why I made this. Now you might be thinking, ma'am, we were learning about the seasons of India, and how come we are now the next time came on this map of like a picture of the world? Why? Because beta, the India's climate, India's monsoon is actually influenced exactly by these latitudes. Now see this, as we know that here is India, through which Tropic of Cancer passes. Okay, here it is India, through which Tropic of Cancer passes. This circle, for example, is India. Okay, for your better understanding, now you have to be here not only physically but with your mind also, because these certain facts are, these certain terminologies are different for you. So this is equator. Okay, this is what beta? Equator. Equator, a place where the sunlight is for annually, like for entire year. Okay, so for obvious here will be high temperature. Okay, and wherever there is high temperature, there is low pressure. High temperature and low pressure. Okay, get this. In comparison to this place, equator, what do you think the pressure will be in Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn? Comparatively low. So here will be high temperature, low pressure. Yes, so the temperature will be low temperature, but the pressure will be high. High pressure, here will also be high pressure. We are comparing it with equator. Okay, this is the rule. This is how we study. Why, when, where, how, I have no answer for that. Now comes South Pole. South Pole, that means very cold, very, very cold. That means lowest temperature, then highest pressure. So here what do we have, bacha? High pressure. In comparison to poles, what do you think Antarctic Circle will have? So here if it is high pressure, comparatively here will be low pressure. Similar is with Arctic Circle, low pressure. Ma'am, why are we writing that? Because you know a golden rule. What is that golden rule, my dear student? That wind always moves from high pressure to low pressure. Wind always moves from high pressure to low pressure. Getting the point here? So here we will write that wind always, okay, wind always, is it visible? Yes, always moves from high pressure to low pressure. There is one rule in geography which says that when earth rotates, pay attention, when earth rotates, as because of the earth is rotating, right? Because earth is rotating in the northern hemisphere. in the northern hemisphere, right? Bhai, it is very, very important for you to understand, otherwise everything will go out. So because of the rotation of the earth, देखो भाई, whenever any movement is going on, any movement is going on, a force applies. You guys are aware about that in physics. So rotation is going on, certain force applied on the wind, due to which in the northern hemisphere it is tilted. It is not moving, it is tilted towards the right. However, in the southern hemisphere, these winds are tilted towards its left. So this two golden rule you have to remember. First, wind always moves from high pressure to low pressure. Number one. Because of this rotation of the earth, what happened in the northern hemisphere, wind is tilted towards the right. However, in the southern, it is tilted towards its left. Tilted again. Now comes to the point, beta. Wind moves from, now we will see the movement of the wind. Wind always moves from high pressure to low pressure. So considering this tropics particularly, for example, if we were not aware about this law, okay, the law that tells us about the tilt of the wind, what would happen? Wind is moving from high pressure to low pressure. Matlab, the wind is coming from tropics to equator. Okay, high pressure to low pressure. Okay, high pressure to low pressure. But eventually, what happens? Because of the rotation, the wind is tilted towards it. Pay attention to it. The wind is tilted towards its right in northern hemisphere, tilted, but the movement is from tropics to equator. That means high pressure to low pressure, but the tilt is, the tilt is towards it right, tilt is towards its right. Direction will not be changed, only the tilt will be there. Now below equator lies the southern hemisphere, where it's tilted towards its left. So this is the direction of the wind. Crazy or not? Yes, exactly. This situation I am telling you is the ideal situation. When the sun is on the equator. This is an ideal situation when the sun is on the equator, but every time the sun is not on the equator, like during the summer season, pay attention, during the summer season, what happens? The sun moves towards northern hemisphere. And the same horizon where wind is colliding also moves little northward. That means on India, right? On India. And during that time, when the wind is in this direction, do you think that there is any ocean that will bring rain? No. Hence, in the summer season, because of the lack of moisture, what happens? There is hotness. Evaporation is higher also. The movement is such that, like this. And we know that here it is China, here it is Russia. What happened? Winds are coming from land towards land. Then here it is dry region. Picture clear or not? I hope it is clear. Now, when the sun moves towards Capricorn, this shift is more southwards. Again, the wind is not moving from sea to land. The wind is moving from land to sea. Like, see, land, here it is land and here it is ocean. So it is moving from land to sea, bringing no rain. Then how does rain comes? Rain comes particularly, beta, when we know, we are aware about that. See, what happens when it is like shifted northward a little. Pay attention that. Now it is the time when it is the month of May and June. Okay, it is the month of May and June. When particularly, pay attention, when the sun is over the Tropic of Cancer, a complete low pressure belt is built up here. Okay, low pressure belt is built up here. Winds moving from high pressure to low pressure. Now, after this month of May comes June, July. This particular region is still low pressure. Why? Because this sun starts its southern movement now. But still, this complete region, because sun is present here, what happens? It consists of bacha, which particularly it consists of low pressure belt. Why? Because sun is here. It starts movement towards south, but it is not that time. One day it will move Tropic of Capricorn slowly. So this entire region becomes low pressure belt. This entire region becomes low pressure belt. Now as you can see that the wind will be moving this. See, it is here what it is, high pressure. It will be moved upwards, like wind is moving from high pressure. This entire region is still low pressure. So this will move like this. But when you reach northern hemisphere, what will happen? It will be tilted towards the right. See, the wind are moving towards low pressure. This entire region is low pressure. Why? The movement of the sun is upwards. So now it is moving like this. Wind is moving like this. Pay attention. Here it is Arabian Sea. From the Arabian Sea, it picked up moisture, and this is the tip of India, that is Kerala, and hence Kerala is the first place which receives rainfall. I hope the picture is clear now. Okay, so this is how rainfall occurs in India. But now pay attention. I'll tell you this with the help of a very good map of India. Just we will draw the peninsular plateau of India. Just that. See here. Okay, more clear will be like this. This is equator, and here lies the tip of India. Here, bacha, it is Arabian Sea. And here it is Bay of Bengal. Okay, here it is Bay of Bengal. Now see, the wind is coming from high pressure belt. Okay, as it reaches equator, the direction changes to here. As it reaches equator, it is tilted towards the right because of the force. Acha, I forget to tell you that force, it is known as Coriolis force. Coriolis force, okay? The force that is created because of the rotation of the earth. That is known as Coriolis force, which tilts or diverts the wind in the northern hemisphere towards right, and in the southern hemisphere towards its left. So now the wind is tilted towards it right. This is the tip of India where lies Kerala, which receives rainfall. But what happened here? There are Western Ghats. Okay, here there are Western Ghats. So the region which lies on the west of Western Ghats receives the rainfall because of this branch of rainfall, that is Arabian Sea. Now we get the rainfall via two branches. One is Arabian Sea branch and the other one is Bay of Bengal. See, this region is known as rain-fed region. Sorry. Then again comes Western Ghats, which becomes a hindrance in the direction of the wind, and hence this is known as rain shadow area, because the wind is not able to take moisture because of this Western Ghats. But now this wind moves like this. Now again from Bay of Bengal, bacha, it picks up the moisture, and then this moisture falls down where? In what? Northeastern India. Okay, this Arabian Sea branch also takes this moisture towards Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, etc. And again these two branches meet here. I have a very good map present here only to explain that. So now advancing monsoon, the monsoon that we get in the month of June to July, which actually because of the low pressure develops over northwestern plains. Now I think that the low pressure content is clear to all of you. Moisture rich winds from Indian Ocean move toward land. Southeast, why we are calling it bacha southeast? Because they are coming from south and moving towards eastern direction. Coming from south and moving towards eastern direction, and hence these winds are known as southeast winds. Cross the equator and turns southwest. See, southeast, because they are coming from eastern direction, moves towards southwest because now they are moving towards western direction. So this is how we have to learn. Sudden arrival of moisture-rich winds is called bursting of monsoon. As suddenly the moisture comes during this time, it is known as burst of monsoon. Average wind speed can be around 30 km per hour, not of our use. Two branches that brings rainfall to India. One is Arabian Sea branch, one is Bay of Bengal, like we just saw. Clear to that? So now beta, this is clear. We have one more thing, that is monsoon branches and its importance. You have a reading to this. Rest everything is clear to you. Now comes retreating monsoon. So two times India gets rainfall. One is during the advancing monsoons, in which every part of India except the Thar Desert gets the rainfall. The second is retreating. Now when winds are going back, see, like winds are coming, this is the tip of India, winds are coming, taking the moisture from Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal. Here it gets diverted because of Himalayan mountains and like showering the northern plains of India entirely. Now what will happen, the low pressure belt develops over here because of the sun will be reduced by, because sun is moving now towards the Tropic of Capricorn. So low pressure will be built up in the Tropic of Capricorn, and again here will be high pressure. So wind moves from high pressure to low pressure. Now the direction of the wind will be likewise, going back likewise. Okay, so during the time it goes back, it picks up moisture from Bay of Bengal again, and sometimes during this time Tamil Nadu and Karnataka faces what? Rainfall. One is this reason and one is the western disturbance that I told you. So low pressure conditions move to Bay of Bengal, and here to Bay of Bengal, because of this we feel cyclones and depressions that brings rain to eastern coast of India, Odisha also. Coromandel coast receives much of the rainfall during the retreating monsoon. Okay, Tamil Nadu in the Coromandel coast. So this is retreating monsoon, and here we have map of India, which explains us these concepts very nicely. As I just told you, see, this is the map of advancing monsoon and that is the map of retreating monsoon. Let's first have a look. Bacha dekho, if you are thinking that ma'am it's so in depth and we won't, this is not going to come in exam, because certain topics were already there in class 9th in the previous year book. Okay, that old books. But what happened in that old books, this topic was exempted, it was not coming in exam. But I think now, because that was because of COVID, now it will not be exempted as of. So we have to understand, see, when we write the answers also, now we have to understand actually what is going. Just ratification will not work out there. So pay attention. Advancing monsoon, which comes early to the tip of India, as I told you. Here below Indian this peninsula lies equator. Sun is somewhere between Tropic of Cancer to equator, which creates low pressure belt here. Because of this low pressure belt, the winds are moving towards low pressure belt, matlab towards India. They are coming from sea, bringing moisture. Like around 1st of June, Kerala experienced rainfall. 5th of June, here it enters in the state of Karnataka. See, here it is moving towards Bay of Bengal. Here it is moving towards Bay of Bengal. See, Mumbai, it reaches around 10th of June. Now this wind direction is likewise going like this. Gujarat also like this. 1st of July here, 15 July Pakistan. Finally, then it moves from, see, this is what, which branch beta? This is the branch that is referred as Arabian Sea branch, because wind is coming from Arabian Sea. This same moves to Bay of Bengal. See, this moves to Bay of Bengal, picks up moisture and take the rain towards northeast region of India. Getting my point? This is referred as advancing, and the same is retreating when the winds come back. Like in September it starts. Why? See, in September it is the time when we feel little cold at nights. Why? Because sun has moved towards Tropic of Cancer, and here, because it has moved towards Capricorn, here what happens? Here it is low temperature, high pressure. Wind moves from high pressure to low pressure. So wind moves start moving southwards. From 1st of September, see, these are moving. Here it is moving because there is no moisture, because it is moving from land to sea. However, you can see some of the wind coming from here picks up the moisture from Bay of Bengal, giving rain showers to Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, or to Bhubaneswar, like Odisha. etc. So this is the complete explanation regarding bacha, what regarding the climate change, atmosphere, monsoon in India, etc. Okay, now if I talk about climate change, so yes, there are a lot of climate is not as it was some around 100 years back. The changes are because of so many causes like burning fossil fuels, deforestation, industry and agriculture, waste and consumptions, and global warming is happening, melting of ice glaciers is happening. I think that you guys are aware about that. There are droughts, wildfires, there are certain storms, floods which actually affect the climate. Okay, so here are the causes and the problems mentioned. You can learn them for your answers. In the chapter at the end, there is one more topic, that is floods. Now what happened, beta? Floods. What do we understand with the flood? Excess of water. Whenever there is excess of a lot of rainfall comes. So it's not only excess of water, not only the rainfall, beta. Whenever the rainfall is so much that the rivers, okay, the rivers loses the capacity to hold the water in its width and it becomes overflow. Because of that overflow, it comes in the surrounding areas referred as floodplains. Why? Because the overflow water comes there, they are referred as floodplains. So causes of floods are heavy rainfall, river overflow, dam burst, sometimes dams burst, cyclones, tsunami, like tsunami occurs because of earthquake in the sea. Okay, glacier melts and sea tides. Because of glacier melts, what happens? The amount of water increases, the volume, basically the volume it has loses the capacity to hold moisture and it overflows, causing floods. Vulnerability, so the people living in the low-lying floodplains, this is so vulnerable. River mouths become so intense, steep slopes. In that steep slopes, water flows with huge pressure and urban surfaces is affected. Panic situation, diseases, physical damage, cross loss and soil erosion happens because of floods. Mitigation, what we can do? So basically this is a natural disaster and body is there, NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, which looks upon pre-disaster and post-disaster management. Like we have to map the areas which can be more affected with floods. We know that like river Ganga, the floodplains around Ganga can be affected during the time of rainfall. So we should map there and try that the livelihood is not settled over there. Land use control, forecasting, warnings, dikes, levees. Dikes and levees are basically what happens. Sometimes sand is put around the river and small mountains are made so that water do not like comes out of the river directly in the floodplains. Okay, so they are basically what we can say hindrances. Reservoirs and raised platforms. Levees are raised platforms only, okay, around the rivers. So this is the last topic. One more topic is there about carbon footprint. Now what is this carbon footprint? CO2, as I told you, is present in the atmosphere, but whenever the amount of CO2 increases, what happens? So whenever the amount of CO2 increases, the carbon footprint issue is there. So carbon footprint means basically this is measurement of carbon dioxide in tons. So it is measured in tons of carbon dioxide. It shows our contribution to global warming. As the carbon footprints increases, that means amount of carbon dioxide also increases, hence lead to increase in global warming. What are the major sources? By fossil fuels, transport, thermal power plants, factories, deforestations and many more. Okay. And how to reduce it? Beta, you guys are aware about that, how to reduce it, but actually we can't do it because we are now so comfortable with the lifestyle we are having. Okay, so this was the end of the chapter. You can hold your breath because now we completed a very big chapter, that is atmosphere and climate. See, other than big, this chapter actually holds so many theories which were like needed to be clear in our mind to get our answers on point. Okay, this approach of mine to make this chapter clear for you was just to clear all your basics. right? With the help of this, you can solve multiple MCQs and can easily write the answers, because when your basics are clear, you need not to do rectification, okay, or just not to mug up it. Clear? We'll have a quick revision from where we started the chapter. So we started the chapter with the definition of atmosphere. If you remember, it is a thick blanket of air. Then we saw structure of atmosphere, in which there were layers like troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere. Then we had thermosphere, and at last was exosphere. After that, we have seen certain elements of atmosphere, right? Like temperature, humidity, then we have seen wind, etc. Then, what are the factors affecting the atmosphere? Latitude, altitude, all that, like distance from the sea. 5 points can be created out of that. In this, we studied the difference between weather and climate. Okay, what we studied, beta? The difference between weather and climate. After that, the most important topic was seasons of India. Okay, seasons of India, in which we dealt completely about summer season, winter season, advancing monsoon, and retreating monsoon. In this, I cleared all the basics regarding the wind directions, right? Wind directions, and at last we completed with disaster, that is floods, as well as the last topic was carbon footprint. So if there is doubt in any of the topic, go and watch that part of video again. You will be cleared with all your doubts. And if you want that we should practice this chapter, then you need to come live on my live. Basically, for class 9th, I come live on every Monday at the platform you're watching me right now, that is Diksha Vedantu CBSE English, at 5 p.m. Okay, and the series you're watching right now is A series, where I will be covering all the chapters in one shot, their revisions, as well as live sessions for practicing the MCQs. I think this is the perfect approach. You need in your class 9. Do comment your feedback, that how much do you like this chapter, because I'm pretty sure you like this chapter. Okay, so we will meet you soon in the next video. Up till then, bye bye.